I'm Rick James, bitch. Enjoy yourself.
When I was high as the sky.
Born on February 1st, 1948, as James Ambrose Johnson Jr., Rick James had a humble beginning. His birthplace, Buffalo, New York, was far from the glitz and glamour of the music industry, but it was here that his passion for music was sparked. His mother, a dancer and numbers runner, played a significant role in shaping his early life. She was his first encounter with the world of entertainment, and her entrepreneurial spirit undoubtedly left an imprint on young James. Music was always a part of James's life. The radio was a constant in their household, filling their home with melodies and rhythms that would unknowingly shape James's future. From the Motown hits that blared from the radio to the gospel tunes that echoed from the church, music became a refuge for him, a source of comfort and joy in a world that often seemed too harsh and unyielding. In his late teens, James made a daring move, leaving his home in Buffalo and relocating to Toronto, Canada. It was here that he formed the band, the Minor Birds. The band was a motley crew of musicians who shared James's passion for music. Their sound was unique, a fusion of rock and roll and soul that was unheard of at the time. They quickly gained traction in Toronto's music scene and even landed a record deal with Motown. But just as things were looking up, James's past caught up with him. His AWOL from the Navy was discovered, and the Minor Birds' debut album was shelved. James was sent to prison, marking a turning point in his life. This setback, however, did not break him. Instead, it became a stepping stone, a part of his journey towards becoming the Rick James we all know and remember. The Minor Birds, however, could not release their debut album due to James's AWOL from the Navy, a turning point that led to his stint in prison. After his release from prison, Rick James returned to the world of music with newfound vigor. This period of his life marked the beginning of a musical journey that would leave an indelible mark on the landscape of popular music. In the early 70s, Rick James signed with Motown, a record label renowned for its soulful sounds and iconic artists. His first album for the label, Come Get It, introduced listeners to his unique style, but it was his fifth album, Street Songs, that catapulted him to stardom. This album, filled with vibrant rhythms and infectious hooks, showcased James's ability to blend genres and create an entirely new sound. His most popular hit, Super Freak, was a track off Street Songs that became a cultural phenomenon. The song was an audacious blend of funk, rock, and soul, a combination that was unheard of at the time. James's music was daring and unapologetic, a reflection of his own personality. Super Freak was a bold statement, a declaration that Rick James was here to shake up the music scene, and he did just that. James's music was a fusion of punk, funk, and soul, a genre he christened punk funk. This unique style was a refreshing change from the disco and pop music that dominated the charts during the late 70s and early 80s. James's punk funk was edgy and raw, a stark contrast to the polished sounds of his contemporaries. His music was a rebellion against the norm, a musical revolution that captivated listeners and inspired artists. James was not just a musician, he was a trailblazer. His innovative approach to music pushed boundaries and challenged conventions. He dared to be different, and in doing so, he created a sound that was uniquely his own. Rick James's music was not just popular, it was influential, shaping the sound of the 80s. His legacy extends beyond his hit songs and albums. It is embedded in the fabric of popular music. His punk-funk sound continues to inspire artists, proving that Rick James was more than just a super freak. He was a musical genius. Rick James's success, however, was marred by a growing drug addiction and legal troubles. The man who once sat on the pinnacle of funk music now found himself grappling with the harsh realities of his personal demons. Rick's struggles with drug addiction were no secret. His love affair with cocaine, which he often referred to as his hell of a mistress, began in the late 70s. This addiction gradually escalated, consuming him to the point where he would spend thousands on drugs in just a day. His life became a seesaw, oscillating between euphoric highs on stage and devastating lows off it. As the 80s turned into the 90s, the consequences of his addiction became more severe. Rick saw his once luminary career overshadowed by a series of arrests. In the early 90s, he was charged with multiple counts of assault. These incidents painted a picture of a man who, fueled by drugs and a volatile temper, had lost control. His legal troubles began to mount. In 1991, Rick was accused of holding a woman hostage, an incident that led to a 2-year prison sentence. This was followed by another assault charge in 1993, further tarnishing his image. His career, once soaring, was now spiraling downwards, his personal life in shambles. But even amidst the chaos, Rick's passion for music never wavered. He battled his addiction, seeking help from rehabilitation centers multiple times. There were moments of clarity, glimpses of the old Rick James, the charismatic performer, the innovative artist. But the fight against addiction is a tough one, and for Rick, it was a battle he fought until the end. The impact of Rick's legal troubles and drug addiction on his career was undeniable. The man who had once been a force of nature in the music industry was now seen as a cautionary tale. But it's important to remember that a person's life is more than their worst moments. Despite his troubles, Rick James never lost his love for music. One of the most intriguing stories from Rick James's career is his infamous feud with the music icon Prince. This feud was like a clash of titans, both larger-than-life figures in the music industry. It all started in the year 1980, when Prince was selected as the opening act for Rick James's Fire It Up tour. Rick James, the king of punk funk, had a style that was raw, gritty, and unapologetically wild. His music was a rebellion against the polished and refined sound of the disco era. On the other hand, Prince, the Prince of Pop, brought a unique blend of rock, pop, and funk, wrapped in layers of sophistication and mystique. Their contrasting styles were a reflection of their strikingly different personalities. It wasn't long before tension started brewing between the two. Rick James felt that Prince was copying his style, from his music to his fashion. The feud escalated when Prince began to steal the limelight during their tour. His electrifying performances were starting to outshine Rick James, much to his frustration. One of the most memorable stories from their feud was during a basketball game. Rick James challenged Prince and his band to a game, thinking that he could easily beat them. However, Prince, standing at a slender 5'3", and his band surprisingly defeated Rick James and his team. It was a moment that Rick James would never forget. Despite their rivalry, both artists had a mutual respect for each other's talent. They pushed each other to their creative limits, influencing and shaping the music scene in the 80s. They were both pioneers in their own right, carving their own paths in the music industry. The Rick James and Prince feud was not just a feud. It was a battle of two music giants, a clash of egos, and a testament to their passion for their craft. The Rick James and Prince feud became a legendary part of music history, adding another layer to James's complex career. Their rivalry, filled with tension and drama, was a spectacle that captivated the world and left an indelible mark on the music industry. In the 2000s, Rick James made a comeback, proving his resilience and love for music. After weathering the storms of legal troubles and drug addiction, this period marked a renaissance of sorts for James. He was back in the studio, back on the stage, and back in the hearts of his fans. His music was like a phoenix rising from the ashes of a turbulent past. His sound had matured, his lyrics had depth, and his performances were filled with the vigor of a man who knew he had been given a second chance. The raw energy of his punk-funk style was still there, but it was now tempered with experience and wisdom. But it wasn't just about the music. James became a popular TV personality, most notably through his unforgettable appearance on The Chappelle's Show. His catchphrase, "I'm Rick James," became a cultural phenomenon, introducing him to a whole new generation of fans. He was able to laugh at himself, showing a sense of humor and humility that endeared him to the public. In 2004, James was inducted into the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame. This recognition was a testament to his enduring influence on the music industry. He was not just a performer, but a pioneer. His innovative blend of rock, funk, and soul had changed the landscape of music forever. Yet this period of resurgence was short-lived. Later that year, James passed away, leaving a void in the world of music. His journey had been one of highs and lows, of triumph and tragedy. But through it all, his passion for music never wavered. Rick James passed away in 2004, but his legacy lives on. His music continues to inspire artists across genres, His story continues to captivate audiences, and his spirit continues to resonate in the hearts of those who knew him. He was more than just a musician. He was an icon, a legend, a testament to the power of resilience and the enduring appeal of authentic talent. Rick James's life was not only about music, but also about wild and crazy stories that became a part of his legend. Dive into the eccentric world of Rick James, and you'll find a plethora of stories that seem almost too outrageous to be true. Yet they are, and they add a certain flavor to the Rick James narrative that's as unforgettable as his music. One such story revolves around his wild parties. Rick James was known for his extravagant lifestyle, and his parties were no different. They were legendary, often lasting for days, filled with music, laughter, and a whole lot of craziness. There was no party like a Rick James party, a place where the music never stopped and the fun never ended. Then there was his eccentric behavior. In a world full of eccentric personalities, Rick James stood out like a beacon. From his flamboyant fashion sense to his larger-than-life personality, everything about him was larger than life. He was known to ride around in a custom-made Rolls-Royce, wear outrageous outfits, and even had a pet python that he would often carry around on his shoulders. But perhaps the most memorable aspect of Rick James was his way with words. He had a knack for coming up with memorable quotes that often left people scratching their heads in disbelief. Who could forget his famous line, "I'm Rick James, bitch"? This quote, while crude, perfectly encapsulated his brash, no-holds-barred personality. But let's not forget his infamous encounter with Charlie Murphy, where he famously declared, "Cocaine is a hell of a drug," after recounting a wild night of partying. This quote has since been immortalized in pop culture, serving as a stark reminder of James's wild lifestyle and his struggles with substance abuse. These stories, while outrageous, add another layer to the enigma that was Rick James. They provide a glimpse into the mind of a man who lived life on his own terms, for better or for worse. His life was a wild ride, full of ups and downs. But one thing is for sure, it was never boring. Rick James's impact on music goes beyond his own discography. He was more than a musician. He was an innovator, a pioneer, a force that changed the landscape of music as we know it. His influence on the funk genre is undeniable. With his pulsating rhythms, infectious beats, and electrifying performances, he took funk from the sidelines and brought it to the forefront of popular music. Rick James's unique blend of rock, soul, and funk, which he dubbed punk funk, was revolutionary. It broke down barriers, crossed genres, and defied conventions. His music was bold, audacious, and unapologetically Rick James. He gave us anthems like Super Freak, Give It To Me Baby, and Mary Jane, songs that are just as vibrant and relevant today as they were when they first hit the airwaves. But perhaps the most telling testament to Rick James's musical impact is the number of artists who have sampled his work. From hip-hop legends like MC Hammer and LL Cool J to contemporary artists like Kanye West and Jay-Z, Rick James's music has found a new life and a new audience in the tracks of these artists. His music has been sampled in over 100 songs, proving that his sound, his style, his signature is timeless. And let's not forget his impact on popular culture. From Dave Chappelle's hilarious I'm Rick James skit to his induction into the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame, Rick James's influence extends far beyond the realm of music. He was a cultural icon, a symbol of a certain kind of freedom, a certain kind of rebellion, a certain kind of funk. Rick James, the super freak, the punk funk pioneer, continues to influence music, even years after his passing. His music lives on, his legacy endures, and his spirit continues to inspire. Rick James may be gone, but his music, his impact, his influence will never be forgotten.